What's up? How you doing? Here we are, Thursday evening. Very hot out and very dry. I can't stand humidity. I could stand hot. Humidity I don't like at all. Slight breeze. Today it feels west to east, much more than yesterday. And I'll talk a little bit about bodybuilding. So this book I have here is the first book that I read cover to cover. It came out in 1977. Arnold Schwarzenegger, and it's called Arnold, The Education of a Bodybuilder, co-written with Douglas Kent Hall. I suspect that Douglas Kent Hall did most of the writing, Arnold did most of the talking. National bestseller. And I think I read this book at least twice, maybe 3 times. Like I said, it came out in 77. Big fan of Arnold as a bodybuilder, not so much as an actor, although I did like Terminator 1 and 2. I enjoyed them. I don't know about the acting skills, a little bit iffy on that, but I have enjoyed quite a few of his movies over the years. Ridiculous one, Hercules Goes to Hercules Goes to New York or something, asinine. But he's had a pretty good career in Hollywood. So in my opinion, the best shape that I have seen him in was the Mr. Universe 1971 contest, and I think he ran unopposed because of some situation with Joe Weider and a competing sanctioning body. So was it the IFBB or something, was competing with some other bodybuilding organization, and Joe Weider said, if you compete in that, you can't compete in mine. And I think Arnold was the only one that honored that, and so he was the only one competing that year in 71. I think it was 71, but yeah, he was in the best shape in my opinion in 1971. Interesting book, good photos, has pictures here from the 1975 Mr. Olympia, which is the one he retired in initially, and he should have stayed retired, but he came back in 1980 after filming one of the Barbarian Conan movies there, whatever, and he won it. But if you see the pictures of him, I don't know, maybe they gave him a favor on that one. So but definitely great shape. 71, 72, 73, 74, 75, late 60s, but for me 71. And this is from a time when bodybuilders looked semi-normal in terms of the size and everything. They looked like they were in great shape, where nowadays it's cartoonish. It's like they've been drawn like the Incredible Hulk. They look way too big. Some of them have bellies. I read, and I don't know how true this is, but I read that that's because their insides are growing, liver and intestines and all of that, and they push outward. Now I don't know if that's true, but I read somewhere that some of the steroids that they use cause that situation to happen. But I'm a fan of the classic look. Steve Reeves, Larry Scott, love Larry Scott. He was the first Mr. Olympia. And for my favorites, like Arnold, Frank Zane, definitely Frank Zane is up there, one of my favorites, could be my favorite. Robby Robinson, love Robby Robinson. He was very popular when I was a kid, still works out. If you go out to Venice Beach, Gold's Gym there, he's there. It's probably like 74, 75, maybe a little older. Great shape, great body. Actually, he's the one I think that they used. I'm pretty sure that they used his body on the Joe Weider statue. So you got Joe Weider's head and Robby Robinson's body. Great bodybuilder, like perfect. Also a fan of Tom Platz, which I feel that he should have won the 1981 Mr. Olympia contest, not Franco Columbo, although I am a fan of the late, he's late, late Franco Columbo, very strong. I first saw Franco Columbo on television on a show called Kids Are People Too, and it was hosted by Michael Young, which I've seen in real life at the Grove many years ago. He was coming out of the Apple store and I saw him there. I used to watch that every Sunday. Kids Are People Too. It had a cool little song to it. And then during one of the commercials, they had Dear Alex and Andy, an advice duo. They'd read a letter and then they'd give you advice. But that's where I first saw Franco Columbo. They called him the world's strongest man. Maybe not, but he's very strong. He was very strong. But I believe that in '81, Tom Platz should have won. And Tom Platz, very energetic guy. Even now, when he talks, it's all full of energy. You know, there are nerves coming out of his words when he speaks. Edgy, you know, really stresses things a lot. But he was known for the big legs, big thighs. Upper body was okay. The biceps, you know, they were okay. But in '81, he came in great shape. He should have won that. And as a person, I enjoy listening to him. He's you know, inspirational, but he seems like a very nice guy. I watch him on YouTube on recent stuff he's done, but he emphasizes very energetic personality. Boyarko, like Boyarko. I don't know what the situation or the problem was with his abs. Stomach area was never developed. I just did not have the ability to develop the six-pack, but I liked him as a bodybuilder. Who else? Frank Zane, like I mentioned before, one of my favorites. He may be number one to me. Perfect symmetry. Had a place. LAPD going by. Had a place years ago called Zane Heaven in Palm Springs. Go there. I think they would give you a massage, give you advice, things like that. Now I think he's down in San Diego. I don't know if he still does the same thing though. But I see him on YouTube once in a while. Who else I like in the old days? A man called Al Beckles, and he's still alive. Al Beckles. This guy was in great shape all the way into his 60s. I don't know what he looks like now physically without a shirt. I've seen him on interviews maybe a year or so ago, but he was in great shape for a man who was like 58, 59, 60. He had a body of a 30-year-old, and I think he's from Barbados, still alive. Johnny Fuller was a fan of his. I think he died. Who else was the Menzer brothers? They died. A lot of those guys died. Let's see if I... Oh, how can I forget Lou Ferrigno? Lou Ferrigno. Big fan of Lou Ferrigno's. The Incredible Hulk. Loved that show. Could not miss it. Every Friday I was home watching The Incredible Hulk. Fan of Lou Ferrigno's. He had another show, what was it called, The Golden Hour or something. He was like an ambulance driver. But yeah, big fan of his. What else we have? I don't know if anybody sticks out in here. There's a few pictures in here. Oh, Bill Pearl. Bill Pearl was a solid bodybuilder. Looked to me like he was totally drug-free. Still alive today. Unless he died a minute ago, he's still alive. And I was a big fan of his, still am. Really great shape. Like I said, solid physique. Bill Pearl. Who else we have? Fire department. Danny Patella. He was a short guy. I don't know if he was like 5'3" or something around there. Small guy, but very, very muscular. You know, he's the kind of guy that looks at metal and he bulks up. Great biceps. I don't know why I was always interested in what Tom Platz had to say. Tom Platz. You know, anytime there was an article that they would interview him or something, I was always reading that. And today, still a big fan. Still has the same hairdo, longer now. I think he's got a ponytail. What do you think? Anybody else? I mean, there was a lot of them back then. I'm trying to think of the ones that... was it Sergio Oliva? Guy from Cuba, big, thick forearms. I think his son competes now, Junior. But yeah, but you know, the two that stick out for me as having the perfect symmetry. You know, not too big, not too small, but just right. And I mean, it can't be too small, right? That would be Robby Robinson, and Frank Zane. Those two guys were the perfect bodybuilders. I'm trying to think of anybody else that was kind of like, you know, right now nothing's coming to me, but you know, there's a few more. Burl Fox was his name, another guy. I mean, there's some great pictures in here. Look at these shots. Got a list of the awards. You know, it's you know, this is as big as you want to get. What they're doing today is, like I said, it's cartoonish. Way too big. You know. There's a double bicep. Anyway, highly recommend this book. My first book I mentioned earlier, cover to cover. Read this as a kid. And who wrote the foreword in here? Oh, the afterword. I guess this is more recent, but yeah, Arnold, and the foreword there. I want to say maybe Joe Weider wrote it. If there is one, maybe there isn't. I don't see a forward. No, I don't see. Yeah. So that. Trying to think of somebody who sticks out from the past that I know I'm probably missing somebody, but and I want to say Boyer Co. had a show in mid-90s, maybe a little bit after that. Would come on late at night, like midnight on Sunday midnight, which would be Monday, and he would do like a half-hour show, like a workout. He always had somebody current on there, and he was in great shape. Older guy in his 40s, I think, back then. But yeah, he was a pretty good bodybuilder. He had the genetics for great arms, but the abdomen, the belly area, he could not get the six-pack look. And I remember one time I read an article about him. This was years ago. He had competed in Mr. Olympia, and he was kind of saying, you know, maybe I overdid the bicycle. He burnt too much muscle off of him, and he didn't come in there looking like he should. And he said he did way too much of the bicycle. But I wish that Tom Platz had won. I think really he's a guy that got robbed. You know, 1981 was his year, and Dr. Franco Columbo, doctor, but you know they call him doctor, chiropractor there. Dr. Franco Columbo won, but I feel that Tom Platt should have won that. And I am a huge fan. He's like one of my top 5 bodybuilders, Franco Columbo. Very strong guy, incredible strength. There's in the video they're pumping iron that came out 75, 76, somewhere, 75. They show him picking up a little car from the back and moving it. So very strong guy. He competed in one of those strongman competitions with a refrigerator on his back, had a refrigerator, and he ran with it, tried to get a fast start, and his leg collapsed underneath him, came out of the socket or something at the knee, and you see him running and then it snaps. So, and then when he came back in 81, I think he won in 76. So the year Arnold retired in 75, Arnold left in 75, and then Franco came back, competed in 76, won, and then 5 years later won again in 81. Zane won 3 times. Frank Zane was awesome. He deserved to win maybe 4 or 5 times. And I'll tell you this, if Ferrigno had not retired to pursue a career in Hollywood with the Hulk and everything, he would have won. After Arnold retired, he would have won 76, 77, 78, 79, 80, 81, but he retired. And then he came back in the 90s when he was in his 40s, was huge, was like 315 pounds, very big, but he lost to Dorian Yates, which, I don't know, I was never a fan of Dorian Yates, not on a personal level, just physically. I thought there were other bodybuilders that were better than him, but you know, he won it a few times. So you know, he had a bunch of wins. What was the other guy that won? Guy that broke the record, I can't think of him right now, but broke the record after Arnold. I could picture him. But yeah, anyway, yeah, Dorian, you know, he was great, but I never connected with him. So that's it. That's it. We're gonna go cook some chicken wings now and have a meal. Bought a lot of chicken wings for tonight. So that's it. We're done.